Hi, I'm Monk and this is the Monk Way. It's been a year since legalization of weed. Are Canopy Growth and Aurora Cannabis stocks still a buy? We will take a look at their movements and recent news to see if the MJ market is going to go up in the coming years. I'll also show you my personal investment in both companies, over $41,000 in total. Subscribe, hit the bell, and leave a like for more MJ stock videos. I make these every time there's a big update. And check out my investment course below for a complete animated guide to the stock market, teaching you how to invest in bigger companies like these. It's 50% off for the first 20 buyers using the link in the description. I also recommend the best free investment apps. Webull lets you trade at any time, full after hours trading. This means you can buy Canopy or Aurora 4 hours after markets are closed, and you get 2 free stocks worth up to $1,000 for depositing. M1 Finance lets you buy partial shares of big companies like Amazon or Google for just pennies. So you could buy Aurora Cannabis for 1 penny and ride it up. Everything is linked in the description below the video. A good amount of my viewers might have seen my previous MJ video. This was made in August 2018. Let's see how these two are doing now. Here are the charts for Canopy Growth and Aurora Cannabis. CGC is actually break even at this point. It definitely spiked up after my video, as high as 100% in the green, but it seems like it dropped down in recent months. We'll look at why soon. Aurora Cannabis is the same way, currently break even. It did spike about 110% in the green after my previous video, so I would say my timing of the last video is great. But what led to the downturn of both these companies? Let's compare Canopy Growth and Aurora Cannabis in terms of revenue. Here's a chart of Canopy's earnings since legalization in October 2018. So we started with $83 million by December 31st. This was about 2 months of legal MJ sales. Then it moved up a bit to $93 million in March 31st. And finally we end up at $90 million in the most recent quarter of June. Revenue has been growing, but not the extremely large spike we were expecting when MJ was legalized. We did get over 3 times the revenue compared to before legalization, but I think many people were expecting somewhere between 5 to 10 times. Legalization should mean a huge spike in sales compared to only medical patient sales, meaning upwards of $150 million a quarter, or $600 million a year. Right now it seems like Canopy Growth will make about $360 million in a whole year. Let's compare these raw revenue numbers to Aurora Cannabis. This is money they receive before any costs, like factories or workers. Both companies don't have profits at this point, which is also a bad sign, but expansion costs a lot of money. In the same 3 quarters, we see lower numbers at first. $54 million in December 2018, then $65 million, but $98 million recently. So they made less money but beat Canopy Growth in the most recent quarter, up 52% from the last quarter, while Canopy Growth went down from the last quarter. As of this video, Canopy Growth is worth $8.8 billion, while Aurora Cannabis is worth $5.1 billion. If we judge only by revenue, it seems like Aurora is undervalued right now, since they both made about $90 million in the most recent quarter, and Aurora is only worth 64% of Canopy Growth in terms of market cap. Let's compare some other metrics. Revenue is very important, but what makes a company run is everything else. Production itself is very important. The more each company produces, the more they can sell. Canopy Growth produced 41,000 kilograms in the most recent quarter. This is 183% increase from last quarter. Record numbers here. Aurora produced 29,000 kilograms. This is 70% of what Canopy Growth produced, meaning Canopy is still the leader in production. Medical patients are a steady source of income. Canopy has 70,000 of these, while Aurora has 84,000. So Aurora Cannabis has more of these patients, bringing in more controlled revenue. In terms of cash, Canopy has $3.16 billion. Aurora Cannabis has $260 million. So Canopy still has a lot more room to invest with. This was thanks to Constellation Brands investing $5 billion in them last year. Aurora is still waiting for a big partnership. The rumors of a Coke partnership didn't materialize, and no news of other partners have come up. This also means that partnership announcements can still spike Aurora up 30% or more. Canopy is still the bigger company, with a bigger market cap, more MJ being produced, and a lot more cash. But Aurora is catching up with the increase in revenue, which actually beat Canopy in the most recent quarter. The real question now, why did they both drop so hard recently? And what did they have to do to go back to 100%? It was difficult tracking all this news and the catalyst for these drops, but I found some big ones. Make sure to leave a like if you appreciated the deep dive. These videos take 10 hours to make. Hours of research, scripts, editing, then animating takes 5 hours. Just clicking on the like button helps a lot. I think the main issue is the lack of huge exponential growth. Many people were expecting huge gains after legalization. No one knew exactly how much revenue would increase, but an increase of 3 times isn't enough to justify the high prices. If you look at both companies a year back, the prices are around the same as now, but they were making much smaller amounts of revenue. Canopy was making $25 million during that quarter. This is 3.6 times smaller than its $90 million this quarter. Aurora is making $19 million, 5 times less than $98 million right now. This also means the price to sales ratio really went down, which is a good thing. If we look at my previous video, they had a price to sale of 92. If you don't know what price to sales means, this means their stock price was 92 times what they made in revenue. So if Canopy's stock price was $92 a share, they only made $1 in revenue per year, per 1 share. This was extremely low revenue, and extremely overvalued. The market average is only 2.2 as a comparison to the 92. What do you think the price to sales is now? For Canopy Growth, it's 35, 2.6 times less. For Aurora Cannabis, it's 27, 3.4 times less. so investors are less optimistic about their future, giving them lower prices for higher revenue made. While people rushed in these stocks before, they're leaving just as fast. And this is not accounting for the 100% spike they both saw, which likely increased their price of sales to 150 plus. It seems like they were riding the hype, and the hype has died down for now. A big catalyst for Canopy Growth's downturn was this. The CEO, Bruce Linton, was actually fired from the company back in July. This caused a dip that hasn't recovered, 33% in the red. Bruce was a huge spokesperson for the company and was the face of Canopy. The board of directors decided to fire him after bigger than expected losses. Constellation Brands had a say in this move. This doesn't show confidence at all for Canopy Growth when the CEO is fired. Aurora Cannabis dropped recently due to a miss of earnings. Even though they had huge revenue growth, it didn't meet their 107 million estimates. They also thought they would be profitable by this quarter, but this changed to the coming quarters when they announced they didn't make a profit. Missing earnings seems to be a common factor. Canopy Growth also saw a dip after their earnings in August. Other companies like Aphria and Cronos have not recovered since their bad earnings. Here are the charts showing a lot of red. This is likely combined with hype dying down. Investors were expecting huge exponential growth, and when that wasn't met on every new earnings report, optimism dies down fast. When one stock drops, the others follow. So these two tend to move at similar speeds. Let's move on to the positives to see if these stocks will go back up. A new source of income for MJ stocks are legal edibles. These are not legal as of now, but will be in December. This could be the second big catalyst after actual legalization of MJ. Not everyone likes smoking. I personally don't. But eating a gummy bear and feeling good sounds pretty nice to me. The legal edible markets will bring in a lot more new customers. It's estimated to be worth $2.7 billion annually and bring in over 50% more customers than smoking alone, which can mean a huge spike in revenue of 30% or more compared to now. This also includes MJ-infused drinks. Since Canopy has investments from one of the biggest beer companies, I'm sure they'll be one of the first to release these drinks. Another huge win was the passing of the Safe Banking Act in America. This allows legal weed in America to be connected to banks, as well as allow users to buy legal weed with debits and credit cards. Before this bill, banks working with legal MJ could face legal action. This is a huge step in the right direction, possibly leading to more MJ companies working with these Canadian companies. More and more states are legalizing weed. If recreational weed ever gets legalized in a good amount of areas, or in all of America, Canadian companies will be the first in line to profits. Because they have the factories, giving them a huge lead. Here's a list of legal states in America. The dark green areas being legal, lighter green being medically legal, so it's happening fast. We need some raw numbers to calculate future growth. Here's how much MJ has actually sold over the past year. As you can see, it has been steadily increasing, with July having over 100 million sales. We should see about $1 billion over the whole year. Many forecasts sees Canada having $5 billion in sales within 5 years, meaning there's 5 times the sales to be had. If Canopy or Aurora increase their revenue by 5 times, I don't see them staying at their current prices. The chances of them going back up is good, as long as sales keep increasing like this. Right now, Canopy Growth has around 25% of sales in Canada, and Aurora Cannabis has closer to 20%. If production and regulations let revenue increase by 5, we could see $250 million in revenue per quarter from both companies, or $1 billion per year. Valuation at this point will be much better. In theory, investors will increase their price the higher the revenue goes, giving the stocks anywhere from 100% to 500% in increases. But this is on optimistic buyers, which might not happen. Now I'll show you my exact investments in both these companies. These are my only Canadian stocks. Canopy and Aurora, along with Tesla, make up my speculative stocks. I think all 3 has potential to go up 100% or more in the coming years, but all 3 has chances of dropping 50% or more as well. So don't buy these stocks based on this video. I have 385 shares of Canopy Growth at $52.02, currently down 39% or 7.7 thousand in the red. I have 2,812 shares of Aurora Cannabis at $7.73, down 18% or $4,000 in the red. I did buy a little more during the recent downturn. I do believe these will go back up. It just takes a lot of time. A new partner like Coke will definitely spike Aurora up, and more legalization of MJ in America will bring the whole sector up. There are many more catalysts that might spike up the price. These stocks are not for the faint of heart. I didn't sell when Canopy Growth went down 40%. I bought more. Hopefully this way of investing pays off over time. Leave a like for the honesty. Investor optimism is at all-time lows right now, meaning the value is actually going up the more they fall. I believe it's a good time to look into MJ more, since prices are exactly the same as my August 2018 video, but revenue is 3 times higher. This is still a gamble, so do not buy these companies based on this video. And if you want a complete animated course on the stock markets, check out Monk's Market Mastery in the description below, containing over 24 videos just like this one, teaching you the basics to advanced trading in the markets. 50% off for the first 20 buyers. Subscribe, hit the bell, and leave a like for more of these videos. I keep you guys updated on big news in the MJ industry. Keep watching to invest in green the Monk way.